we are so excited to have you. You know, we actually called, and you can see on the corner of our screen there, Pumza Sikumba, our sign language interpreter, brought in for this conversation because I think your crowning has made us really start to put the word inclusivity back in our tongues again. But I want to start with this. Have you gotten used to being called Miss South Africa yet?
A little bit. I am starting to get used to it. But it's still very like, pinch me, is this real?
Yeah, it's this is, I was saying yesterday to Aldrin that I think that your being crowned is such a beautiful moment for South Africa. It is, finally we're going to really understand such a big part of our country, right? 4 million people in South Africa that are either deaf or hard of hearing. And people are watching our conversation, they're thinking, wait, but if she's deaf, how is she hearing your questions? How are you guys doing this? It's an opportunity.
Cochlear implant, which I received at the age of 2. And the cochlear implant is amazing technology that is able to help you have a representation of sounds, but it's not the same as you hear. So I still use my speech impediment, etc. I've received a lot of speech therapy that have learned me to speak and how to listen to you. So it's a lot of little parts that is able to help me to communicate with you. I read your body language, I read your lips, and then with the cochlear implant as well.
It's incredible. You know, yesterday we were speaking.
Able to receive an education in South African Sign Language as we moved to a small town when I was 5 years old, and all of our resources went to speech therapy because my parents wanted to give me the best possible future where I am as included as I possibly can be. And they thought at the time the best thing for me would be to learn to speak and communicate.
Yeah. And in the run-up to the pageant on Saturday, let's be honest, there was so much drama, right? I mean, so much conversation should be making it. Chidima, obviously, a big talking point. Let us be a fly on the wall. For the girls that were also competing, how were you guys coping and staying focused for the competition throughout that storm?
It was extremely hard for us, as each one of us personally know and love Chichi. She's our little Chichi, and we've grown to know her and love her, and we truly do not believe that she deserved it, as we know her, and she's a phenomenal, powerful, beautiful woman in her own right, and she deserved her spot on South Africa. And I stand for unity. I do not stand for people being divided. So I do think we can do better in that aspect. We need to support and include one another because she was excluded.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
Yeah, but it was difficult to watch, I can imagine, from the inside, looking in. But I think that when you think about what you represent, though, not just for the pageant, for the country, for the continent, I mean, the world was watching Miss South Africa for the weeks up until this pageant. And, so many questions around how people felt about you as Miss South Africa. What do you think you represent?
I think I represent hope. And I represent hope for anyone who has felt different. And that is not just for people who are differently able, but literally anyone who has felt different or excluded in some form. And I am showing them, sometimes even if you feel there's not a space for you, or you feel like you have to work 10 times harder to do something, like it's okay if it's like that. If you have a dream, it's there for a reason. And you have to fight for it because you are worthy of that, and you are worthy of a beautiful life. And I think I've given people hope that they can have that beautiful life if they fight for it.
Yeah.
So we have 4.5 million people within South Africa that are disabled, and over 19% of them are unemployed. And I believe that we have not put enough attention to empower the workspace and the schools with tools in order how to be inclusive, or how to help, or how to create a space for them. Because a lot of these people are actually extremely capable and intelligent. They are just not given an opportunity to show it. Because like we South Africans love hard work, but we also, the differently abled, also want a chance. So I do think we need to empower.
Yeah, and
it's a mission that will evolve and process with time, but my first priority or the first starting point that I want is to have captions on news bulletins. Because that is something I'm excluded from news because I don't understand South African sign language to that extent. I cannot always hear what is being said over the news, and I am being excluded from information. And so are so many others. So that's the first thing I'm asking for. But there is a lot of work that I'm planning out. For example, I want to have workshops with workspaces on how to be inclusive. And it's something that I feel we really can build on. I've already been getting a lot of people reaching out to me, giving me ideas or telling me how they are happy to jump into this project. So I'm very hopeful.
No, you're going to spark a lot of projects and a lot of initiatives that are so important. So, I mean, even I'm taking the note, writing it down, captions for the news so that we're able to include the 4 million people in the country that also want information.
For me personally, because I'm hard of hearing, I read sign language and I can read it very strongly. So, for example, again, or I can just see I didn't hear someone and I can see they look annoyed. I see it 10 times stronger than someone else would see. And for me, it's difficult because sometimes it does affect me. Because I want everyone around me to be happy, but you can't make everyone happy. So I think that is one of the first things is the body language that I'm able to read of people and see how sometimes they can get a bit annoyed, etc. But it's okay. It is what it is. The second thing is just lack of access to information. Like, I can't even go to the cinema and watch a movie and go enjoy it. Small things like that. Like, I also want to be a part of small, light-hearted moments. For example, if I'm in a group and someone's making a joke and I couldn't hear it, and they tell me, but it's not important. I want to also know, I don't want to know just the important stuff. I want to know the happy stuff too.